get that feeling like you're stuck in a time warp on a construction site? I mean, all the tape measures and levels and paperwork makes you feel like we haven't evolved much since the pyramids, right?
Ah, tell me about it.
But what's really exciting is there's this new technology that's completely changing the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Scan1 LiDAR. And today, we're going to take a deep dive into it based on this YouTube video we found.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, and I think you'll find it pretty interesting, even if you're already up to date on the tech side of construction.
Okay.
All right, so basically what this Scan1 promises is pretty wild. We're talking going from a field scan to a full BIM model in just an afternoon.
Whoa.
I know, right? It's like BIM teleportation or something.
I mean, speed is incredible.
It really is.
Yeah.
But how does it actually work? The video mentions this thing called real-time point cloud generation, but I gotta admit, I need a little more explanation than just the buzzwords.
Sure. Well, it's actually pretty clever. Scan1 uses these high-density laser scanners and some really sophisticated algorithms. So you're walking around the site, and it's grabbing millions of data points every second.
Wow.
Yeah, and it uses those points to create what's called a point cloud. It's basically like a 3D representation of the entire space.
Okay, so it's kind of like a 3D scanner.
Exactly. But here's the really cool part. The algorithms are processing all that raw data right there in real time. You're not just collecting data, you're literally building the BIM model while you scan.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait for all that processing afterward.
Exactly.
That's a huge time saver. But I'm curious, are there any trade-offs with all this speed? Does the accuracy suffer at all compared to the slower, more traditional methods?
That's a smart question. And honestly, it's something anyone looking into this tech should be thinking about.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, the accuracy is pretty comparable to traditional laser scanning, especially when you're talking about overall geometry and those spatial relationships.
Right.
But there's always a but, right?
Right.
For really detailed elements or surfaces that are kind of complex, you might see some slight variations.
Ah, okay. So it's not exactly a magic bullet. There are nuances.
Right, exactly.
Which makes sense. Okay, so the video also made a big deal about this geolocalized point cloud. Now, I'm sure some people are wondering what in the world that even means. Can you break that down for us? Like, what does that do for the BIM model?
Think of it this way. Every single point in that cloud is tagged with its exact location on Earth. So you're not just looking at a 3D shape, it's actually anchored to real-world coordinates. That's what geolocalized means.
Oh, okay.
So no more messing around trying to manually line up scan data with maps or blueprints or any of that stuff. It's all automatic.
Wow.
And that's a total game changer for site planning, making sure everything works with existing infrastructure, even things like clash detection while you're still designing.
Oh, yeah, clash detection. That's a
Yeah.
big one. So much time wasted on those clashes.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, this Scan1 also works with Autodesk Construction Cloud, right?
Yes, it does.
And we all know how crucial collaboration is in construction. I mean, it's everything. So how does that integration actually work on a project?
Basically, it comes down to sharing data instantly. As soon as you've finished your scan, all that data, the point cloud, the BIM model you're building, all of it gets uploaded straight to the cloud.
Okay.
Architects, engineers, contractors, everyone who's working on the project has access to that up-to-the-minute information in real time.
No delay.
Nope. Think of what that means.
Yeah.
Imagine making a change on-site and it's reflected in the model immediately. Design changes, instant communication, spotting potential problems before they turn into budget-busting delays. It's pretty powerful.
That's pretty amazing. So are we basically looking at the end of miscommunication and finger pointing in construction?
I don't know if I'd go that far. But it definitely has the power to streamline communication and cut way back on errors.
Yeah. And when you think about it in the bigger picture, this is a great example of how digital transformation is changing the entire construction industry. This whole movement towards interoperability, where all these different tools and platforms can talk to each other smoothly, it's a complete game changer for the entire workflow.
It's exciting, but a little scary too, to be honest.
I get it. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah. I mean, could this technology make BIM modeling accessible to smaller firms? You know, the ones that haven't been able to afford those traditional, really expensive methods. And if that happens, what does it mean for the industry as a whole? I feel like we're on the edge of something massive here.
It's a really good question, and that's what makes this technology so fascinating. It's not just about faster scans or fancy models. It's about having the potential to completely change how we design, how we build, how we work together.
Yeah. It's like going from data drudgery to a full-blown digital revolution. And all thanks to this little handheld scanner. Crazy, right?
It is pretty wild.
So for all of you listening out there, here's something to think about. Imagine this. Construction sites all over the place, buzzing with these handheld scanners, instantly feeding data into collaborative BIM models. What impact could that have on how fast projects get done, how much they cost, even on the design process itself? It's a pretty incredible thing to think about. And that's it for our deep dive today. See you next time.